Are you sick of your current GPS making you feel like you're playing pin the tail on the donkey with your coordinates? We've all been there, right? Staring at the screen while your map proudly declares that your office is pretty much over there. Good luck. But the truth is, not only is the precise location of our office important, but many different industries depend on precise location data. That close enough absolutely will not work for applications in surveying, agriculture, automation, robotics, and more. Fortunately, uBlocks is here to help. They're leading the charge to democratize centimeter level GNSS precision for all applications. Let's get into it. Hi, I'm Amelia Dalton, host of Chalk Talk. In this episode of Chalk Talk, Arnaud Le Lannic from Ublocks and I explore the benefits of the ZX20P all-band high-precision GNSS module and the ZF20P triple-band high-precision GNSS module from Ublocks. We also investigate the roles that correction code and centimeter level positioning services play in these types of designs, and how you can improve your next design with high precision position solutions from uBlocks. And before we get started, don't forget to click that link. There you can find even more information about this topic from uBlocks. Hi, Arnaud. Thank you so much for joining me.
Hi, Amelia. It's always a pleasure to catch up with you.
Excellent. Okay, so we're talking about high precision positioning today. But first, Arnaud, what are the biggest challenges you're seeing in this arena?
I think GNSS is just amazing. From user perspective, it is simple and globally available for any outdoor application. Now, for sure, we face some challenges. And I would identify two main challenges. First, and probably the most important challenge, appears as soon as sky visibility is obstructed or limited, having a direct impact on the accuracy. The second challenge, which is less common but still important, happens when we encounter intentional or unintentional RF interferences on GNSS frequencies. In both cases, benefits brought by multi-band receivers are directly and significantly contributing to navigate those challenges and have a better accuracy independently of the conditions and their possible variations. Imagine you are a vehicle, and particularly an autonomous vehicle. You want and must to keep the best accuracy in any situation. Under open sky, next to building or other vehicles, to navigate, you need to know exactly and at each instant where you are. A different example is about consumer, where user experience is key. With devices like wearables, sport watches, smartphone, and VR glasses, there is no room for unnecessary degradation impacting the user experience. And here, multiband will contribute significantly to keep the performance level. So going forward, application looking for best power and simplicity like asset tracking and aftermarket telematic might stay with single band. One or more meter of precision does the job. And in some cases, it has to work 10 years without recharge. So for this, single band and therefore low power will continue to fit very well. The vast majority of other applications will go for multibands.
Fantastic. Okay, so Arnaud, talk to me about uBlocks' vision for the future for high precision positioning.
As of today, high precision was reserved or accessible to the most demanding application, and mostly applications where position accuracy could be monetized. Complexity, cost, and integration were a barrier limiting the adoption of the technology for other kinds of applications. And at uBlocks, we want to give access to this technology to the mass market as we did with GPS years ago. Where high precision was impossible, it is now simple. Where high precision was too costly, it becomes affordable. And where high precision was not accessible, there is no coverage. And the automation will drive it. Agriculture made the step years ago. It is now accelerating, looking to be driverless. UAVs, last mile deliveries, automotive, and heavy machineries are not just starting.
Okay, so Arnaud, what specific uBlox solution would you suggest using in this case?
Well, as we started 30 years ago, the heart of our offering is still the GNSS silicon and its algorithm. For now, less than 10 years, we did the first step with ZF9P. Today, we bring ZX20P to the market. It is a unique chipset solution, allowing to navigate using all frequency bands and all the constellation, as well as correction signals. By the way, Amelia, is our module not beautiful?
It is indeed. So, Arnaud, there are a lot of different industries that depend on precise location data. What can these solutions bring to the table for all of these different markets?
Well, for the most depending market and application requiring full flexibility, like you mentioned, agriculture and automation, we propose ZX20P. On top of supporting all bands of all constellations, it does support L6 and L band, enabling usage of correction data directly from the satellite. Whole band is the solution for best accuracy and availability independent of the environment and location. As we support all type of correction services, we can adapt to the most demanding requirements in terms of accuracy, as well as the global coverage, thanks to reception of correction from the satellites.
Arnaud, what about those air and ground robotics applications you mentioned earlier? What specific solution would you recommend in this case?
We see that a vast majority of those applications will have a local deployment, and in most of the case, with good connectivity available. This will represent the mass market. In some cases, even used in application targeting consumer. For those applications, simplicity and best cost of ownership is important. Therefore, have a lighter weight version of our Ublocks 20 platform called ZF20P. It is a triple band receiver to cover the accuracy and availability requirements, and all service enabled by a terrestrial connectivity. It is compact, low power, and it's also very affordable to battery-powered small and light devices.
Okay, so could you talk to me more on what makes this solution so comprehensive? How does it cover the entire life cycle?
High precision is not only having the best GNSS RTK module, it is having the best solution. Providing this best solution is the materialization of our vision. This is why, next to the module, we also propose high-performance reference antennas as well as the best service options to cover all requirements. Of course, all of this is a result of almost 30 years in GNSS and localization technology.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit more about the correction source. Why is that important?
Without correction data, it is impossible to reach position below 1 meter. Here, we illustrate in a simple manner why. From the satellites to the receiver, we mostly have 6 sources of errors. Satellite orbit error, satellite clock error, ionosphere, troposphere, multipass, and receiver noise. And the first 4 can be well monitored and compensated. And this is what is achieved with the correction data.
All right, so what kind of positioning services does uBlox offer? Walk me through the options.
Services, offerings, and technologies are mostly tied to the density of the error monitoring station. The denser your network, the faster you will reach the highest accuracy. Since it is difficult to cover the entire globe with measurement station, especially over desert and water, selecting the best service offering is a trade-off between coverage and performance. With our 3 offerings, Point Perfect Live, Flex, and Global, we cover the entire range from the most demanding performance in regionally best covered area to the area where coverage is less and performance requirements are a bit larger.
What about service coverage? What does that look like?
A very dense network like Point Perfect Live covers the most populated areas of the US and Europe. While you can see here, for example, Point Perfect Flex is available on a continental or countrywide basis. At the end, you see Point Perfect Global. Here, we are targeting an availability which will be global, making the customer journey even easier when it comes to deploy. In all these 3 cases, the performance should be identical where you stand. For Point Perfect Live, if you are in US or in Europe, you will feel the same experience. And for Point Perfect Global, you will have the similar result wherever you are in US, in Australia, in Africa, or in Europe.
Arnaud, talk to me a bit about the antenna included in this solution.
Well, if we come back to our vision, this is the last but not least element necessary to envision or to materialize our vision. Until now, available antenna solutions have been as complex and expensive as the hardware required to receive and process the signals. So to democratize high precision, this also had to be addressed. And with our antenna, we provide a high performance, all band solution targeting mass market requirements in terms of cost and complexity without compromising performance. It can be used in customer design or as a reference to select the different technology or form factor. As it comes, we also offer a triple band version in a smaller form factor.
Fantastic. Well, Arnaud, I think that's all I have time for today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Amelia. Thank you for inviting me today. It has been a good session again. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.
And before we go, you didn't forget to click that link, did you? There you can find even more information about this topic from Ublocks. For Chalk Talks, I'm Amelia Dalton from eejournal.com. For more Chalk Talks, head on over to the Chalk Talk section of EE Journal. You can't miss it, it's right across the top. Or head on over to YouTube, youtube.com/EEJournal.